Hi guys, it's Jade Dill here and welcome to the channel. Thank you very much for tuning in and be sure to subscribe for new videos every Monday to Friday. So guys, what I want to talk about today is the French Burkini ban, as it's being called. So first things first, if you haven't heard about this, where have you been? So a burkini is just literally a wetsuit with an attached head bit to cover the hair. It's not startling, it doesn't look awful, it just is. We all look different. The reason why I'm making this video today is to actually highlight just how ridiculous this ban is. You would think with everything going on in France at the moment that they would be trying to stay away from these contentious, heated issues. And the fact is, this needs to be taken very, very seriously. The fact is, the niqab, which is also called the veil, has also, in 2011, was banned in France. Now, I oppose to that too. The fact is, this is absolutely ridiculous. And there was recently a woman on a beach in Nice, and she was stopped by the police, and she was made to take off a long, loose blue top and made to sit around in a vest. And I think it's absolutely disgraceful. Now, the reason why I think this is absolutely shocking is for a number of reasons. One being freedom of expression. We should be free to wear what we want when we want to. This does not just affect Muslims, this affects all of us, every single person. So what, now that a so-called burkini isn't allowed, does that mean fat people aren't allowed to cover up? Does that mean that albinos aren't allowed to completely cover their skin up on a French beach? This is ridiculous, and this is actually an assault on women's rights, an infringement of our human rights and many different things. The fact is, men can freely go and wear what they want to and fro, but a woman must have to be subjugated. Why must a woman show her body if she doesn't want to? This doesn't just affect Muslim, it affects the, I'm not religious, it affects somebody like me. The fact is, when I go onto the beach, I don't like showing everything. I'm a big gal. Sometimes I think I will save people from this hideous sight and I will like cover up. But more to the point, sometimes I don't want everybody to see my goods, what I have to show. Like, if you watch this channel, you'll see I wouldn't say I'm modestly dressed, but I try not to show all and sundry all of my goods, because that's how I feel comfortable. It's just me, it's preference. Now, the fact is, I've seen these burkinis for years, for absolute years. They've only recently started coming onto the market. Marks and Spencer's is selling them, but I've seen them in Tunisia. I saw them lots, and I'd never actually seen them before till I went to Tunisia 3 years ago, and I was like, wow. And I was like, wow, because I thought it was a great invention. I was like, the fact is, I finally invented something so Muslim women who, don't want to show all and sundry everything can actually have something wearable and durable to wear into the sea, so they can actually interact and get in. Because before, when I was a youngster, we go to the beach and stuff. Sorry about all this noise, the kids are playing outside and it's just really crazy. I go to the beach and I'd see a lot of women wearing a makeshift kind of long top, leggings, and it just looked really uncomfortable. So the fact they've made this out of really good material, I think, is a genius idea. And the fact that we're even talking about this, that this is a problem, I thought France had just been under many terror attacks. Well, instead of the French government focusing on this, why don't they focus on, their flawed intelligence, since they can't keep their nation of people safe? Why don't they focus on this? Why are they focusing on such a frivolous issue that doesn't concern them? So when French police stopped that woman on the Nice beach and they made her strip and get a loose blue top off, how is that? How is that helping France? How is that protecting France from so-called terrorism? And I just want to throw it out there that I also feel this is also an issue of white supremacy, especially in France. France is known to be a racist country. Unfortunately, every single person I know of colour who goes to France has a horrible experience about the French being racist towards them. And the fact is, that does put me off going to France. I'm due to go to France to a wedding, and the fact is, I'm concerned about going because I'm worried, if they're going to, call me a terrorist and shun me, basically. But all jokes aside, the fact is, this is a non-issue. And the issue with white supremacy is that if that was a white woman sitting on the beach with a loose, not wearing like a headscarf, just with a loose blue top on, would she be told to take it off? Hell no, she wouldn't. So why is it okay for a Muslim woman to be told to take it off? Because the fact is, a lot of, white people burn easily. So a lot of people, they have to cover up in the sun. You know, albinos have to cover up in the sun. So why is it okay for certain people of certain races to be treated, you know, differently? And I'm not saying albino is a different race, because of course it's not. It's a skin condition. But what I'm saying is, I feel that if that was a white woman sitting there in loose clothing, nothing would have been done. Of course it wouldn't have been done, because why should there be? So why should there be a double standard? Now, the reason why this is an incredibly important issue that we must, you know, pay attention to, is because, you know, once again, I'm really sorry for these noisy children making all this horrendous noise. I'm trying to speak as loud as possible. I'm hoping you can't hear it. But basically, the reason why this is such a big issue is because it's dehumanizing to target a religious group, and to target them is going down the road of Hitler. To target them, to target all Muslims. The fact is, this is against human rights. This is against the Universal Declaration of Human Rights 1948. This is against it. Freedom of expression. We are free to wear what we are. And it's also against religious freedom. You are allowed to wear what you want in the name of religion. But not just that, this is against women's rights. As women, we should be allowed to cover up our body if we want to. Not everybody wants to show off their goods, you know, and I'm one of these people too. I don't want to show off. Now, I've got a little something for you here. Now, you know, the reason why this really annoys me, and also, is because they're calling it a burkini. Shut the frig up. The fact is, this isn't a burkini. It looks nothing like a burqa. Why do they have these stupid names for it? It's a wetsuit. It's like a wetsuit with a head, an extra head thing attached to it. Why do people keep calling it the bikini? It looks nothing like a burqa. It's stupid. Now, another kind of minority that this whole thing would affect is, you know, now they're talking about banning the hijab, which is against freedom of religion. Now, guys, what people don't realize is, while many people will sit there and think, oh, well, it's the Muslims, it doesn't matter. Just to let you know, when evil prevails, when good men do nothing, you are next. You are next. All you who sit here and think it's okay because they're Muslims and, you know, they're a bit dodgy, it's okay. This will happen to you next. You won't be allowed to wear what you want to wear out. If France are allowed to get away with this, then this is going to set the precedent worldwide for more global domination. It's disgraceful. If you know what, Saudi Arabia and France, they're actually quite similar now, because in Saudi Arabia the religious police will walk around and they'll look at what you're wearing and they'll try and check it, you know, to standard, you know, that you're not showing too much skin. And now in France, you know, you have to show skin. It's like paradoxes. And now, just a little thing, now they're trying to ban hijabs. Now, as a mixed race person, you guys know I've got afro hair. You've seen my braids, you've seen my other hair. Now, a lot of the time, you know, sometimes I go outside with a scarf over my head because sometimes my hair's a freaking mess and I don't want anybody to see it. And it's in half plaits and it's half out. And I wear this little bad boy here. This little thing here, it's quite hideous actually. So what I'm saying is that, so if I lived in France, and many of the other, because there's many black people who live in France and mixed race people. So when we have our hair in a certain way and we just want to wear headscarves, you know, for fashion, you know, so we're not going to be allowed to wear this. Is it really that offensive that someone's covering their hair? I think it's a disgrace that somebody should not be allowed to cover their hair or to cover their body. What the hell? A bikini, that hideous name which makes me mad, is not a symbol of repression. It's actually a symbol of integration. It's a symbol of the fact that, you know, let me tell you a little story. So because I've got afro hair, I can never shop in Boots. I can never shop in Superdrug. I can never shop in any normal shops, Asda, Tesco, to get my hair products, because no one would ever do it. Nowhere would ever do it. So I'd have to go to the black hair shop. That's where I'd have to go to get my hair products. And when I moved out of London, it became a problem because there was no black hair shops. And I was like, oh my God. So I'd have to make, you know, a 2-hour day trip to go and get the hair products. Now, slowly, they've been introducing, you know, products like Dark and Lovely into, you know, Superdrug and Boots shelves. But before that, there was nothing. And through that, and it's like makeup, there was no makeup for darker skin tone people because it's excluding people. It's excluding people who are there. And the fact is this ties into this because it's excluding a certain race of people. And they're excluding Muslims, and by doing this they are dehumanizing, and the fact that people could sit around and watch this happening is wrong. They are dehumanizing Muslims, they are dehumanizing women, and this is an assault on minorities. So now they're talking about banning the hijab in France, you know, which is absolutely sickening. So does that mean that the you know, the people who live in France can't wear this, they can't cover their hair? This is absolutely ridiculous. As women, as men, we should be allowed to wear what the heck we want, and women want to wear it. And the fact is, the bikinis are a sign of integration. They're a sign that markets, you know, markets are changing, and that, you know, a company like Marks and Spencer's is starting to sell. Just like Superdrug is now selling a lot of black hair products. It's a sign of the times, that times are changing. Now the fact is, you know, when we go back in time, 1940s, 1950s, women, they used to cover up, very similar to the bikini. They used to cover up because back then getting a tan wasn't something you wanted, so you would cover up because you'd want to keep that skin pale and white. So this is just like a full circle. And when I was in Turkey, I saw so many women with these bikinis on, and they were so happy, and they were laughing, and they're having such a good time. And you know, the fact is, it's not our business as to why they're wearing it. Are they wearing it because they're oppressed? Are they wearing it because they want to? That's none of our business. They're wearing it because that's what they're wearing. Just like I'm wearing this because I'm wearing it. Why am I wearing this? Am I oppressed? Am I this? Am I that? I'm wearing it because I want to wear it. And that's all we need to know. And that's it. If someone's so oppressed, then why would they be at the beach having a good time, soaking it up? If they're so frigging oppressed, wouldn't they be in the house locked up in servitude? You know, it's just paradoxes. And the fact is, the fact Marks and Spencer have started selling these, I think is, you know, brilliant, quite frankly. Now, I read an article in the Daily Mail, and it really annoyed me because it said bikini ban in France, Britain split on the issue. The fact is, I don't really think that Britain is split on the issue, because everybody I know doesn't give a fuck. The fact is, they're going on like this is everywhere. Like, you go down to the seaside and it's just everyone's wearing a bikini. And even if it was that way, then it wouldn't matter. But the fact is, it's not. It's a very few minority of people who do feel brave enough to wear the bikinis. And frig me, after all of this bloody bad publicity, no one's going to bloody want to get a bloody bikini, are they? Because everyone's going to be staring. And in the Daily Mail, they had a picture of some Muslim women with their hijabs on, and they were like, a sight to see at Brighton Beach, Muslim women, you know, in this sea, in their Islamic attire. And I'm like, where have you been? Where have you been, Daily Mail? This has been going on for decades. Like, whenever I go to the beach, you know, every now and then when I go to the beach, yeah, there's Muslim families out on day trips, and they've got their hijabs on, and, you know, they're wearing whatever they're wearing, and they're dipping their toes in, or they're going in the sea with that on. Do you think I give a fuck about that? Do you think I care enough? We're living in a society now where we're caring too much about what other people are doing, what other people are wearing. The fact is, France is on the hit list for a serious amount of terrorism, and this is probably another reason why. The fact is, France needs to stay in its lane. It needs to stop breaking fundamental human rights, and we have to stand up, and we have to boycott freaking any French products. We have to boycott it, and we have to try and stand and protest outside the French embassy, because this isn't right, and it can't be allowed to happen. Because what happens there, this will set the precedent for global domination. I want to be able to wear what I want to wear, and when I want to wear it. And how is a bikini or a hijab going to help, a ban on that going to help global terror? It's not. Don't tell me how and why and what I should wear. And the fact is, this whole thing is to do with white supremacy, it's to do with degrading, it's to do with dehumanization, it's to do with making a Muslim woman feel like she's absolutely nothing. The fact is, what I want is, I want a free and open society, and I do not want the government telling me what I can and what I cannot wear. I will cover my hair, and I will cover up if I see fit to. And it's an absolute disgrace. And guys, bit of a rant there. I'll let you know something funny. You know that Jeremy Corbyn video I did about is he implicated in the paedophile scandal? Well, I've had some serious haters and some serious trolls, and I even had somebody do a video in opposition to me on YouTube. I've had some serious trolling going on while I was on holiday. There's this woman, and she keeps writing that I'm being paid by the Daily Mail. just want to let you guys know that if you stumble across that comment, I'm really not being paid by the Daily Mail, as I'm sure you all know. And I find it comical that she suggests that. But thank you very much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. And please let me know what you think below about this hideous demonization of Muslim women.